So when I texted her, she now texted me back saying, oh yeah, she did see it, congrats on me graduating law school, thanks. I think she said thanks for the invitation, but she wouldn't be coming because she didn't consider me a friend. Yeah, that was what she said. This is someone I've known my whole life, like our families were friends. Let me introduce you. So today I'm going to be talking about doing a story time and also talking about something I went through that I really did not plan to make a video about, but I made mention of it on Instagram, on my Insta story, and I got tons of responses, and apparently it's a thing. I'm talking about friendship breakups, you know, when you're best friends with a particular person and then, or maybe not best friends, but maybe you're close friends with a particular person and then all of a sudden that friendship just falls apart and you stop talking, you pretty much break up. Have you ever experienced that? If you have, then make sure to let me know in the comment section what your experience was, okay? So I shared a little bit of what my experience was on Insta story, and I got so many responses from a lot of people sharing their personal experiences, and I was just like, wow. And someone said, Nika, you need to make a video about this. It is a thing. By the way, this happened over 7 years ago, you know, but you know, there are some experiences that you go through that you really just can't forget about. So I've been best friends with this lady, this girl. We've been friends since GSS 1. Was it when we met GSS 1? Yes. We met in secondary school. We were dorm mates and then classmates and whatnot. And then we just became friends. Was it GSS 1? Am I getting it wrong? I have a bad memory now. But she had just moved to Akure then from Lagos or something. And they were living around our area, whatnot. So we became friends, very, very close friends. You know, people knew us together, would go, you know how it is when you're young and you have a best friend. We started sharing friends, like we started having mutual friends. Of course, we had other people that were friends with us, but I considered her to be my best friend at the time. We were friends all through secondary school, even up until we both went to university. Now, we went to different universities, but we stayed in touch, you know. Like, yes, I had other friends and whatnot, but we still lived around the same area. So whenever we'd go home, we'd catch up. After uni and all of that, I moved to the US, and then she started talking about moving as well. And I was looking at different places that she could move to, like different options that she had. Now, my memory is a bit fuzzy, so I might not get some exact details right. But I remember we were talking back and forth. We had even talked about moving in together whenever she moved to the US at the time, you know, because we're like, okay, she was going to get admission to the school I was going to at the time, and then would get a place to live together and whatnot. But a few things didn't work out because one, I had to move in with my brother. We had to share an apartment, so we couldn't. So even though she did move to the city, you know, she had to live on campus for a period and then get her own place and whatnot. Anyway, she did get admission to the school I was going to at the time, and it was in the same city, you know, so I tried what I could to help her settle in, you know, and she started making friends. She's a very, very bubbly, larger than life person, you know, very friendly person. You know, she made friends easily. I introduced her to a few Nigerian friends I had at the time, and you know, took her to the church I was going to at the time and all of that. We were cool, but we were not as close because I was in law school at the time, and law school was just, it was just such a difficult place to get through, you know. So I was constantly, if not in school, studying or working. So it was quite busy, but I still tried to make time for our friendship. We started to have issues here and there, and I don't want to go into the details because sometimes when I think about it, even I don't remember the details correctly, so I don't want to come here and start saying what is not correct. But I know that we weren't getting along as well, and all of a sudden we just had a falling out. And you know, it was a falling out that I really couldn't explain. I won't be able to tell you something specific that, oh, this was what I did wrong or this was what went wrong. It just became such an interesting situation, such a messy situation where, you know, I even had to talk to people who knew us about it, and people were like, so what did you do? And I was like, I have no idea what I did. the whole thing just kind of went on. And I remember I did try at some point. I invited her over to my apartment. She spent the night and we just talked into the night, talking about the issues that we had, how she was hurt by a few things I did. She didn't feel I was there for her enough. You know, she didn't feel like I went through on our plans together when she was still in Nigeria, like, oh, the plans for when she moved here and all of that. And, you know, I apologized. I told her how things were from my own perspective. I apologized. We made up. She slept over, you know, like we were cool. Like we were, I figured we were good, but apparently we weren't, because things went back to exactly the same way they were before, like not up to a month after that conversation, such that, and this was where the breakup actually happened, such that when I was going to graduate law school, I remember I sent her an invitation. Like I went to her apartment, but she wasn't home. And so I took it to a mutual friend of hers, and she was like, she actually thinks it should be best for me to give her myself because of how things were between us. And I was like, you know what, that actually makes sense. But she was out of town. So when I went back, what I did was to slip it under the door with a note, okay? So I did that, left it. The day after, a week after, I did not hear anything. A week and a half, probably 2 weeks after, I still hadn't heard anything from her. So I thought, you know, maybe I would have gotten a congratulatory text and, oh my gosh, you're graduating law school, congratulations, because I was there when she was graduating her master's. Like, I was in the hall screaming my lungs out. Like, I was screaming for her. I was just super excited for her to graduate. My course was a 3-year course, so hers was a 2-year course. That was why she graduated before me, but I think it was just like a few months apart or so thereabout, just to clear that up. Anyway, so when it was taking a while and I still hadn't heard from her, I decided to send her a text. So I sent her a text. I was like, hey, how you doing? Something along this line. Like, hey, how you doing? I dropped my graduation party invitation at your apartment. I don't know if you saw it. I just wanted to follow up. Maybe you're not back or whatever. And then she responded to my text. You know, I'd called a few times. She did not pick up. I'd called over and over. She didn't pick up. She didn't text me back. She just didn't answer my calls. So when I texted her, she now texted me back saying, oh yeah, she did see it. Congrats on me graduating law school. Thanks. I think she said thanks for the invitation, but she wouldn't be coming because she didn't consider me a friend. Yeah, that was what she said. This is someone I've known my whole life. Like, our families were friends. I remember I saw that text and I just broke down into tears. My brother was so upset with me. My brother was like, why are you crying? Why are you letting her talk to you like that? Why are you crying? What? Why you just be behaving like, you know? He didn't get why I was crying. And I was just like, how is this person going to say this to me? I don't care whatever issues we might have had or issues that you might think we have, but why are you going to say that to me? I remember vividly because it stayed in my head, okay? So she said, I will not be coming to your party because I will not be coming to your graduation because I don't consider you a friend, something along that line. Maybe I wish you all the best and all of that. And I looked at the text and I said, you know what? If that is how you feel, then that's fine. I don't think I want you there anyway. Thank you. So something along that line was what I said, and that was it. I haven't spoken to her since. I haven't seen her since. I was blocked on Facebook. It was just Facebook at the time. I don't think I even had an Instagram at that time. Facebook was the only social media we had in common at the time. She not only blocked me, she blocked our mutual friends, which is so crazy because those ones then were asking me what happened, and I was like, you know, this and then they were like, well, what's their own, you know? And I was laughing like, I really have no idea. She blocked me. I haven't seen her since. I haven't spoken to her since. I haven't heard from her since. People stopped talking to my people as well. They even stopped shopping at my sister's shop. I think they used to, you know, my sister had a shop then. They used to come in regularly to shop. They stopped coming to shop. They stopped going there to buy things. They would just pass by a house. Typically, maybe they might greet each other, but it was just like, I don't know what she told her people, but not only was I completely locked out, my people were locked out as well. And it got so bad that even when she was getting married, my people weren't invited, and she was getting married like right next door to our house. Like there's an event hall right next to our house, and that was where she was getting married. And you know, with the wedding happening and everything, my people weren't invited. So I asked myself, like, why didn't you tell me when she was getting married? And myself was like, oh, you know, she didn't want me to feel bad. I was still single then, I wasn't married then. And I was like, feel bad about what? I was like, what is there to feel bad about, you know? So I just kind of laughed about it. But that was that, you know, there was no way I could call her to congratulate her. I didn't have a number, you know, anymore. It had been, what, 4 years at the time. We had lost touch. So that was it with the friendship. But every now and then I still think over the friendship, and I still ask myself, well, what did I do? But you know, I really can't say to you this was exactly what I did, or this was how I hurt someone so much that the person completely blocked me out. You know, we were young at the time, but you know, over the years I've had to pray a lot about it. Just, you know, pray to God to just heal my heart, give me a forgiving spirit. So every time she comes into my mind, I just pray for her. That's just what I do. I'm sure she's doing well wherever she is, because she was doing well before our friendship broke up, you know, so I'm sure she's doing great. In fact, last I heard was that she got married. I haven't, you know, heard anything about her or from her since then. So whenever she pops in my heart, I just say a prayer for her. I just make sure I don't have any ill feelings towards her. So over the years, as I have grown and matured, I've realized that people are placed in our lives for different seasons, you know, and maybe that friendship had served its purpose and it was over and done with, and I needed to accept that. Another thing that also popped in my heart was that, listen, you know, if for whatever reason she wasn't finding value in our friendship anymore, or if for whatever reason our friendship was threatening our peace of mind, or threatening our joy, or threatening our livelihood in whatever way, she has every right to protect herself from me. You know, she has every right to choose to protect herself. It's a pill that might be a bit difficult to swallow, but it's something I grew into over the years, to realize that really I have no reason to have ill feelings towards this person, because this person came to that conclusion by herself and decided that was what she wanted to do, you know, and that was that. So learning that really helped me be free. It freed my spirit. I found some sort of peace in knowing that sometimes some people are in our lives for certain seasons, you know, and once that season is done, then it's done. There is no point in forcing it. There is no point in holding on to a friendship that's dead. There is no point in trying to be friends with someone, or forcing myself to be friends with someone who doesn't want to be friends with me anymore, just because, oh, we've been friends since childhood. Where is it written in the Bible that we must be friends until we get to heaven? Like Yoruba people say, 20 friends cannot play for 20 years. So yeah, that was my experience. It's a bit heartbreaking when you think about it, because sometimes you're just like, you see this person and you're just like, oh my gosh, this is my friend. You know, this is my ride or die and whatnot. But then something happens along the line and that friendship falls apart and you just don't get it, you know. But again, you have to understand that as long as you have some sort of peace with God, you are fine and you will be okay. All you have to do is just consistently pray about it, talk to God about it, tell him to heal your heart, tell him to give you peace concerning that friendship, you know. And yeah, we all cut people off all the time. We all break up with people all the time. So when people break up with us, we shouldn't make them look like bad people. Maybe it could have been better handled. Maybe that, you know, would have helped the situation a whole lot more. But regardless, it has happened, it has happened, you know. We're good. We're good. You know, I'm sure she's doing great. I know she's doing great. She's very smart. She has such a beautiful voice. Like when she sings, like, yo, such an amazing singing voice that she has. You know, she's very talented, very smart as well. So yeah, that happened. That's to show you that I'm not perfect, okay? People can break up with me too. Well, then now I'm grown, I'm growing every day, I'm learning, I'm trying to be a better version of myself. I'm not who I was 7 years ago, okay? I've grown, I'm better, I'm learning every day and improving on myself every day, as should you. Okay, so tell me what your experience was. Tell me how you're dealing with it. And if you're struggling to deal with it, also let me know in the comment section. Let other people know. Maybe someone will be able to share something with you that might help you get through the friendship breakup. And like I asked on Instagram, I'd like to ask here as well. Do you think friendship breakups hurt more than romantic breakups? I think so. I mean, this was over 7 years ago and here we are, still talking about it. Thank you so much for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you found value, most importantly, in this conversation. Please let me know your thoughts and comments down below in the comment section. Subscribe to the channel if you aren't. I can't wait to see you again very, very soon. But until then, I pray God blesses you, your homes, your marriages, your relationships. Most importantly, I pray God blesses you. Really, God, and God bless you. Mwah. Bye. 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 What's doing that boy?